What's up, everyone? Sean CountBlagorath here today with my top 25 albums of 2014. It's a little late, but it's better late than never. It could be a lot later, but I'm deciding to do this now because I'm going to go on vacation in a few days, and I won't be home for about a week-ish, 5 days. So I figure I'd do this video now. My camera's dead, my main one, so webcam video. I'm sure you guys don't really care. You're kind of used to the terrible quality of my content anyway. So, without further ado, I'm gonna do my favorite split of the year in EP. Favorite split being the Panopticon and Falls of Raros split, Brotherhood, incredible black metal, and my favorite EP of the year being Born Hanged by Black Tongue, one of the heaviest pieces of music to come out this year. If you're not a fan of deathcore, you will hate it. But my God, is this album, this EP sick. So, Black Tongue, Born Hanged, favorite EP. Panopticon, Falls of Raros split, my favorite split of the year. Very close second for the split would be the Legends split with Fortress, Chasse Gallery, Celeste, and Monarch. So, yeah, there's that. There's some albums I didn't spend a lot of time with, so don't ask me why they're on the list. Either I didn't give it a fair shake, or I just didn't like it. And once again, I'm going to be gone, so within the week of this video being uploaded, if I don't reply to your question, it's because I'm not home. I turn my phone off when I go on vacation. Just clear my mind, spend some time away from everything. I love it. So, without any further ado, here is my top 25 albums of 2014. I'm going to breeze through 25 to 10, and then I'm going to speak not very detailed, but give some details about my top 10. So here we go. Number 25, Carnifex, Die Without Hope. Carnifex has returned, and with the strongest effort in their career. Definitely leaning more towards the death metal side, but that's not why I like it that much. In fact, the breakdowns are oddly enough my favorite part of this album. The death metal parts are sick, but the extremely creative patterns that they used on this release, utterly fantastic. So Carnifex, Die Without Hope. Number 24, Titan Blood with Death. This would be a lot higher on my list, but I don't know why, but I didn't listen to it that much. I own it. I just never really got around to spinning it that much, but every single time I listen to it, it's just utterly fantastic. Definitely the strongest Titan Blood release, period, to date, and that's saying something considering Seven Chalices is a absolute mammoth of a record. If you like Proclamation, Revenge, that sort of black and death metal, war metal vibe going on, definitely check out Titan Blood and the album Death. Number 23, Primordial with Where Greater Men Have Fallen. Primordial have returned with their strongest release in a long time, I would say since The Gathering Wilderness. Absolutely fantastic, Celtic tinged black metal in vein of Bathory's Hammerheart era. Lots of Celtic-styled riffing and picking. The drums are played like a bodhran, the tom fills and everything. Absolutely fantastic, very powerful vocals, great lyrics. And number 23, Black Crown Initiate with The Wreckage of Stars. This is a great technical, progressive death metal album. Has a fantastic flow. There's a lot of key elements that tie it in together, be it lyrically, vocally, musically. There's very subtle things that they use to tie this whole record together to make it a really cohesive album, and in my opinion, one of the best death metal albums to come out this year, with utterly amazing clean vocals. I'm going to put that out there. Number 21, Parasitic Ejaculation with Rationing of Sacred Human Remains. This is just one heavy as balls slamming brutal death metal album. just some of the catchiest damn slams I have heard in a long time. Some of the heaviest, utterly nauseating vocals. This is definitely something that's not for everyone, but if you're into brutal death metal, I would highly recommend this to you. Number 20, Hoth with Oathbreaker. This one really came out of nowhere for me. These guys are a black metal band from Washington, and they play a very well-produced style of symphonic, atmospheric black metal. Just tons and tons of fantastic orchestrations that are not over the top. They're there in the background very faintly. It's something that really adds to the overall vibe of the record. This is just a great, damn good album. Great album. Can't recommend it enough. So Hoth, Oathbreaker. Number 19, Falls of Aros with Believe in No Coming Shore. Wow. These guys have returned after quite a long break since The Light That Dwells in Rotten Wood. And I gotta say, I wasn't that big on it at first. The production and mixing was a little odd to me, and it was definitely more focused on the post-metal side of things, in my opinion, than the folk. But as I dive deeper into the record, each time I pick up something new that I didn't notice before. And it's an album that's a grower. It's absolutely beautiful. Beautiful songwriting. Excellent song structure. The production actually helps it. And quite honestly, this is an album that I could see where people would be turned off by it. I personally think it's fantastic. Number 18, WitchClan with A Dark Binding. What can I say? This is one hell of a black metal album. Misanthropist was a great album. Descended into Darkness was a great demo. And WitchClan has stepped up their game once again, crafting just a damn good black metal album. There's not really a lot to say. It's very ritualistic in nature. There's some influences of death metal and a little bit of doom metal at times. But overall, this is just a damn good black metal album that I highly recommend to fans of black metal. Number 17, the Acacia Strain of Coma Witch. Acacia Strain have came back with another album since Death is the Only Mortal, which I thought was a pretty decent album, but it was far from my favorite in their discography. Coma Witch, they came back stronger than ever, and this album is just absolutely mammoth. Some of the heaviest guitar work that I've heard this year. If you're not a fan of the Acacia Strain style of more hardcore-based deathcore, then you won't like this. But for someone like me who loves and eats that shit up, you'll love this. And plus, the song that's on the bonus disc, Observer, is just absolutely amazing. 28 minutes of just pretty much pure doom, and I love it. So definitely check that album out. Number 16, Waldflüster with Messin Felon. I think that's how you say it. I probably butchered it. I'm sorry for ruining that. But what can I say? This was just another album that came out of nowhere for me, and when I listened to it, I was floored. And I'm still floored by it every time. Just beautiful, beautiful atmospheric black metal. It's folk-oriented, but it's not using the folk influence as a crutch to carry the album out. So this is something that I would say is definitely for black metal fans, but don't expect your typical run-of-the-mill black metal of this. There's a lot more going on, and damn it, it's awesome. Number 15, Dark Space with Dark Space 4. This is an album I wish I could have spent more time with, but it's definitely top 25 worthy. And what can I say about Dark Space that hasn't been said before? Absolutely dark, droning, pitch black ambience. And it's just something that you have to experience. This isn't an album that you can really just put on in the background. This is something that you have to experience. This isn't a band that you sit there and you pay attention to the music, because the music is so dissonant and hazy and just utterly terrifying that it's hard to pick out one particular element in it. But that's part of the charm of Dark Space for me, and they picked up right where they left off with Dark Space 3. 4 is an excellent album, highly recommended. Number 14, AC/DC, not the rock band, ACX/DC with Antichrist Demon Core. This is a power violence band hailing from California, and they have just put out one hell of a power violence record. Grinding, fast, heavy as hell, chaotic as hell, aggressive, really just in-your-face power violence that pulls no punches. And just give this album a listen. And the first track, if that doesn't sell you immediately with that first riff, nothing will. This is one great album. Easily my favorite release in the hardcore realm this year. I know it's technically not hardcore, but whatever. Still excellent album. Excuse me. Alright. I just unplugged my phone, whatever. Anyways, number 13, Satanic War Master with Fimbulwinter. Fimbulwinter is a utterly fantastic return for Satanic War Master. I almost like it more than Noxir, actually, which is quite surprising because I enjoyed the hell out of that. I have a strong feeling this will become another classic in the discography of Satanic War Master, especially I could see it being held up right next to Corellian Satanist Madness. If you like the werewolf style of writing, you'll love this album. If you like just the Satanic War Master style in general of just true, pure, traditional, straightforward, stripped-down black metal, then this is definitely for you. Catchy, but not melodic. It's absolutely just a great album. I don't really know what to say about it. If I would have spent more time with this, once again, this would probably be higher on my list. And moving on with number 12 with Sorcier de Glace with Rituals of the End. SDG is probably my favorite, one of my all-time favorite black metal bands, and this album is a excellent return to form. Not really return to form because he never deviated from the style, or they never deviated from the style. It's always been the same, but it kind of grew stale towards the third album or so. And not to bash those albums, those are very, very good pieces of Quebecois black metal. But Rituals of the End, he really stepped up his game and really started making riffs that are very reminiscent to Snowland. And it's just absolutely excellent, guys. Highly recommend you check this out. And number 11 is the only non-metal album on my list, and that would be Woodfall by Muskox. If you're not familiar with Muskox, it is a folk group from Canada that play neo-folk. And this is just a beautiful, beautiful, relaxing album. I can't tell you how many times I've listened to this, especially in the summer, late at night, just looking out my window with the window up, and it's just the perfect atmosphere. It's dark, it's melancholic, but it's absolutely beautiful. The classical guitar work, the piano, every single instrument, cello, everything about this is just such a well-crafted folk album that I can see people that are not even fans of folk music appreciating this, especially fans of progressive music. And just highly recommend you seek this album out if you can. Alright, here we are at the top 10. So, number 10, Wolves in the Throne Room with Celestite. This was not what a lot of people were expecting. A lot of people were expecting Wolves in the Throne Room to stick with the black metal style, and they did what I would consider to be the next logical step in their career, which would be to make a dark ambient album. And to not only do that, but make it so natural sounding. It sounds so natural and very reminiscent to the black metal atmosphere of their black metal records, such as Two Hunters, Diadem with 12 Stars, Black Cascade, and even Celestial Lineage. It combines all those elements, and the atmospheres of those elements and what they created within the black metal realm and translated it to synthesizers. And this is just amazing. Super dark. Very, very dark. This is borderline John Carpenter soundtrack styled synthesizer. But the way that these songs flow is just absolutely amazing. I've listened to this album countless times, and each time I pick up on a subtle thing that happens within each song, and I keep discovering more and more about this album. It's such a dense record, and that's one of the many, many reasons why I love this. So definitely check this out, Wolves in the Throne Room with Celestine. Coming in at number 9 is a brutal death metal band called Swine Overlord with their album Parables of Umbral Transcendence. This is an absolutely fantastic brutal death metal album. This is what some people are considering to be progressive slam. The songwriting on this is watertight. And that's one of the great things about Swine Overlord is no detail is really left open. There's no stone unturned. And the great thing about this too is not only is it technical, not only is it very progressive at points, especially with the bass breaks and the bass work on this album, but what's really great too that I absolutely love is the catchiness and how every single thing about this album is memorable. And to me, that's crazy because a lot of brutal death metal just kind of blends into each other. You'll find yourself sitting here and nodding your head listening to this, and you'll pick up on lyrics, grab the booklet, flip through, and find yourself singing along with it. It's absolutely great, and I can't recommend this enough if you're a fan of brutal death metal. And even if you're not, give this a shot. This might change your mind about it. Very, very good stuff. So definitely check out Swine Overlord and Parables of Umbral Transcendence. Coming in at number 8, Mayhem with Esoteric Warfare. Mayhem's discography has been very hit or miss for me throughout the years. For me personally, I've always felt that Live in Leipzig, Death Crush, Demas Series, and then Order at KO were the only things by them that are worth listening to, and I still hold to that for the most part. I've checked out Chimera again, and I'm starting to appreciate it more. But Esoteric Warfare, my God, this is absolute, pure, and total chaos. This is one of the most chaotic records to come out this year in many different aspects, and easily one of the most demented and dark and sinister and overbearing records to really come in this year and grab me and actually provide something beyond pure and total terror and actually provide me with something that is truly a work of art and something that's memorable beyond the atmospheres. Absolutely sick guitar work. The drumming is solid. My only complaint is Hellhammer's strange love of triggers that sound like ass. But, I mean, other than that, this album is just great. And obviously, if it's at number 8 on my list, the triggers don't bother me that much. But this is something that every single black metal fan needs to hear. If you're a fan of old Mayhem, don't expect it to sound like that at all. This is super chaotic. This is what Grand Declaration of War should have been. But this is just great. So definitely check out Esoteric Warfare. Coming in at number 7, Solstice Fear with Oda. I think that's how you say it. Solstice Fear I've never been a big fan of. I have always found their music to be slightly boring. There was always something about it where I just couldn't get behind it. And there was always something just holding me back from it. I don't know why, because they combined elements of everything I love, but it was done in such an odd way where I just couldn't dig it. I don't know. It was just something that I could not fully understand or comprehend. And I don't know, but they've returned, and they have ditched pretty much everything that was a gripe of mine, which was mostly their metal elements. And they've crafted one hell of a post-metal album. Every single song stands out. Every single song on here has a completely different sound than the last. You can actually pick out individual songs instead of it being this one way too long song, which is how a lot of albums of this style turn out. And thankfully, that's not what you get with this album. This is just a beautiful, atmospheric, melancholic album that I can recommend to pretty much anyone and feel satisfied that they will find some enjoyment in it. Even if you're not a fan of metal, this is something I think you will appreciate. Just excellent instrumentation, great vocals. I wish I could understand the lyrics, but damn it, this album is awesome. Coming in at number 6, and my death metal album of the year, Bloodbath with the Grand Morbid Funeral, excuse me. At first I wasn't too sure how I felt about the songs that they put out before this album was released. I thought it was kind of boring, kind of iffy. It was definitely dirty, and I wasn't that big on the vocals. But as I began to listen to this album, it clicked with me instantly. And the same thing I can say also for Esoteric Warfare. This isn't an album that you could just pick one song out of and listen to it and think it's awesome. This is an album that you have to sit down and listen to from beginning to end. You can't skip around. You can't select tracks from it. This is something that needs to be experienced. And to me, the experience of this is just dark, dirty, disgusting, old-school death metal done the way it should be, which is raw and evil, sinister, grotesque, and dirty as hell. And you get that. The vocals are just so gnarly, sounding so throaty, so painful, that you can't help but feel like you need to take a shower after listening to this. This is just such a great album. Amazing stuff from Bloodbath. So, once again, Grand Morbid Funeral by Bloodbath. Now we are down to the top 5 of 2014. And we're going to start things off in the top 5 with Saor Aura. Saor is a Celtic black metal band from Scotland, and this is such an amazing album. The folk elements are not overbearing, but they're there enough to truly add to the atmosphere and to truly build upon the majestic sound that the black metal is creating, which is this super dense atmosphere that makes you feel like you are in the location on this album cover. It truly sounds like what you would expect a hazy day in Scotland to sound. Like, that sounds strange because obviously black metal doesn't emit from the earth, but to me, I always think of landscapes in terms of music, and whenever I saw pictures of that, of Scottish landscapes, I always imagined it would sound like this, and he pretty much made the soundtrack to what I envision every single time I see a picture like this. So to me, that's awesome that he's able to paint such a dense picture with the music. And there's just nothing bad about this album, from the vocals that are far back in the mix, creating this really distance between the vocals and the music that really add to that very vast feeling of being lost in the fog, to the well-played drums by Austin from Panopticon. Everything about this is not only memorable, not only something that I can see other people getting into, but this is something that is truly moving, and I need music to move me in some way. And every single time I listen to this, I can't help but feel changed every single time I listen to this. So, this is just an amazing album. Aura by Seor at number 5. Coming in at number 4, this is from the Swedish atmospheric black metal band Scogan and their new album I Doden. This is one of the greatest black metal albums to come out this year. And oh my god, guys, the atmospheres on this album, the production on this album, the songwriting, the vocals, the flow, the artwork, the overall experience of the album is unparalleled by pretty much any other album in the black metal realm this year. And I'm going to be bold and say that this is definitely in the top 10 best black metal albums to come out in the last 10 years. This is just fucking incredible. This is not your typical fast-paced atmospheric black metal, where bands like Seor definitely have a lot of blast beats. These guys rely on more slower and mid-paced drumming to build their atmospheres off of, and they don't dominate the album with these cheesy synthesizers or this really cheap sounding production. They're not using production as a crutch. They're not using speed as a crutch. They're allowing their songwriting to show through with phenomenal, crystal clear production that actually helps the album. It has intricate drum work that is very slow and mid-pace at times, but it helps build tension and helps build atmosphere. The riffs and bass work between what the guitarist is doing and what the bassist is doing is just utterly fantastic, with how the bass follows along with the guitar and then kind of slowly works its way into the background with the keyboards and the drums to really create an even more hypnotic sound than what they're already doing. And the song Sleep is an absolutely amazing way to close out the album, as I believe it is a 14-minute single riff, pretty much driving kind of doom song. I don't want to say doom, but very mid-paced, slow, atmospheric black metal with all clean vocals that are very dissonant in the background, very far back, and it really blends into the keyboard and the choir effect of the keyboard, and I'm at a loss for words every single time I listen to this album. Absolutely amazing. So definitely check out I Doden by Scogan. And here we are, my top 3 albums of 2014, and we're starting off the top 3 with one of my favorite US black metal bands, Panopticon, and the new album Roads to the North. Panopticon have really changed the face of US black metal, in my opinion, from being a relatively bland, identityless style that has nothing distinctly American to offer. Panopticon has found a way of incorporating truly American elements to a Nordic style of music, which I think is not only something that is absolutely original, but fucking amazing. The songs are crafted so well. Where Songs on Kentucky, it was very spastic in points with the changes of here's bluegrass, here's black metal, here's bluegrass, here's black metal. Instead of doing that, he incorporated American folk music into the atmospheric black metal sound that Panopticon has been doing for a very long time now. And the beautiful thing about it is it never gets dull, it never gets boring, it never seems drawn out, it never seems forced. Every single thing about this album is absolutely spectacular. And I cannot recommend this enough to people that are fans of folk music and to people that are fans of black metal. If you like your black metal fast, look here. If you like your black metal atmospheric, check this out. If you like originality, check this out. There, on the very first song, there is a absolutely ripping solo, which you don't hear in black metal. It really breaks black metal tradition, but it comes across as so damn awesome that I don't really know how to explain it. I'm just being redundant. This is a great album, and if you haven't heard it yet, you need to get on your shit and get this. So that is number 3, Panopticon, Roads to the North. Number 2, I have multiple copies of this album, and I'm just going to show one of them, and I'll show the other ones at the end. Number 2, Agalloch with the Serpent and the Sphere. This album is breathtaking. Every single time I listen to it, I love it more and more. There's something about this that's just so addictive. It's such a fluid album, songwriting-wise. It starts off slow, it builds up, it gets to the faster points of the traditional black metal elements that Agalloch is known for having, and then really just goes way out there with its songwriting and song progressions and the technicality of the riffing, and it just really becomes this whole new beast for Agalloch. But it's such a great sound to it that you just want to listen to it over and over again. It's addictive. It's interesting to listen to. I've listened to this probably 100 times this year, and each time I listen to it, I pick up something new, and that's something I love to see in an album, is a band that can make me pick up something new even after countless listens. And it just never gets boring. That's the beautiful thing about this album, is it truly, honestly, is never boring. And I can't say enough good things about this. Plateau of the Ages is just a fantastic, fantastic closer. Beautiful instrumental. And then, of course, the amazing interludes done by Nathaniel from Muskox, who I mentioned earlier on at number 11. He actually does the classical guitar and interludes on this album, and it's just stellar. I love this album so much. I got the CD, cassette, and of course, the vinyl edition. So, that is number 2. Definitely check that out. Agalloch, the Serpent and the Sphere. And number 1. This will be no surprise to anyone who has been watching my videos this year. This will be no surprise to anyone who knows me or knows who I am. Number 1, Melanic Hazmata by Triptychon. I don't even know what to say that I haven't said already. Dark, brooding, heavy, crushing, diverse, intricate. Just amazing. I can't say enough good things about this. Every single song on this album sounds completely different from the last, which is a great thing, and there's a lot of new stuff that Tom has never really explored, and then there's points on this album where he really dives deep back into his discography and brings back moments of Hellhammer and old Celtic Frost with the riffs and the just overbearing heaviness, the aggression, the sadness, the hatred, the reflection, the pure evil atmosphere, and watertight lyrics and concepts. This is something that I can safely say is one of the best damn albums I've ever heard in my life. And I'm at a loss for words about it. I liked it so much, I bought it a bunch of times, and I'm still not done with it. Vinyl box set. Vinyl. And the 7-inch single that has the songs from the album. If you haven't heard Melanic Hazmata, I don't know what to say to you. It is one of the greatest damn albums I've ever heard in my life. It's heavy, dark, diverse, intricate. Everything that I love Tom G. Warrior for is here but amplified. And that's really all I can say about it. I just encourage every single one of you to check it out. Check the albums out that I said. Absolutely not. I will not be putting the list in the description before you guys ask, because I want you to watch the video instead of just, oh, there, here's his list. I'll just read it and him. So, yeah, if you need help with spelling, I'm sure someone in the comments will help you. But that's it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And as always, keep it metal.